Who was the other one? That's it. Who was the other person they transported?
Dean Jones, Your Honor.
Dean Jones, okay. Commonwealth versus Dean Jones. Are you Dean Jones? What is your year of birth, Mr. Jones?
January 11th, 1980,
Last four digits of your social security number.
5492.
Okay, we're here today for a pretrial conference. What says the Commonwealth?
Do we have a plea?
We do.
Have a felony plea then?
Keep it up there. You want to get him behind the podium there? Yeah. The motion's been tendered, says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person we just identified?
Yes, sir.
A few seconds ago. Is your judgment impaired today?
No, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney? Are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Have you reviewed the evidence Commonwealth has against you? Believe you're fully informed about your case? You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. I'm going to go down through your rights. And at the end, I'm going to ask if you understand that. If at any time you have any questions that you need to ask your attorney, you can step away from the podium and talk to him privately. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove it on a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of charges against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up all those rights. Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Now, prior to accepting your recommendation, I'll wait the pre-sentence investigation report, probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you will have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty at that point and proceed to trial. Do you understand all that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. If you'll step to your left there, Mr. Judd, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Morning, Your Honor. Commonwealth agrees to dismiss criminal trespass in the first degree and persistent felony offender in the first degree. Final plea of guilty to burglary third degree and theft unlawful taking of $1,000. The defendant shall receive a sentence of 5 years on each charge to run consecutively for a total of 10 years to serve. The Commonwealth will oppose probation.
Is that what you agreed to? Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, are you pleading guilty to the acts that you're charged in the amended indictment? Because you are guilty, you did do those acts, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you doing this to your own free will? Knowing your constitutional rights is still a desire to waive those rights and allow the court to fix your punishment, subject you would being able to withdraw your plea if I try to give you more, okay? You understand that? Okay, is that your signature on the docket there?
It is.
Do you understand that in any future, you've previously been a convicted felon? Do you understand? Thank you. You understand that if you have any future convictions, that these charges you're entering a guilty plea today could be used against you under persistent felony offender?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the agreement, order pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. And
Your Honor, if I may, I believe this would be just a supplemental PSI.
he's been in since the last one?
He's a state inmate.
Has he been in since the last PSI continuously? Okay. No additional charges haven't been emanating that. I'll go ahead and sign the judgment. Okay? Thank you. There you go, young lady.
And Judge, as a point of order, given that,
Waive the court costs.
read my mind, Judge, thank you. What?
Okay. Now we have Terry Muse. Commonwealth versus Terry Muse. 23 CR 0046 UR Terry Muse.
Yes.
Born in 1985.
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 2055. You're here for a pretrial conference.
We have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Okay. A motion has been tendered, sir, that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person who we just previously identified?
Yes, sir.
In your judgment, is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Do you view the evidence Commonwealth has against you, believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. I need to know that you fully understand those rights. I'm gonna go down through the rights at the end. I'm gonna inquire if you understand them. If at any time you have a question, you can step away from the podium and ask your attorney. I'll give you time to do that. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to speak trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel if the jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence. The right to call witnesses in your favor. The right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose. The right to apply the Commonwealth plea on a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of charges against you. You understand by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights. You understand that? And I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will order a pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you will have the right to withdraw your plea and proceed to trial. If you'll step to your left, sir, Mr. Judd, will you announce what the Commonwealth's recommendation is?
The Commonwealth agrees to dismiss terroristic threat in third degree and persistent felony offender in the first degree. Upon a plea of guilty to intimidating a participant in legal process, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 1 year to serve. The sentence is to run consecutively with Monroe Circuit Court case number 21 CR 00015.
Is that one additional year from what he already has?
Yes, Your Honor. He's got, I think, 10 on the shelf.
Okay.
And that's based on subsequent events that happened after the events.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty to the charges as amended? Because you did commit an act. It's including them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you doing so with your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Though your constitutional rights explained to us, it's still your desire to give up those rights by entering a plea of guilty and allow the court to fix your punishment within the range of sentence provided by law.
Yes, sir.
You understand that after entering this guilty plea, it's an additional felony conviction, and any future convictions could be enhanced as far as the range of penalties because of this. You understand that? Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement. Now, has he been a state prisoner?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we can waive the pre-sentence investigation report on this, enter the judgment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Waive the court costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, now, does that finish you off? Okay, you got papers for me to fill out for you here? Usually they say, we're finished, you never have to come back again. Okay, wrong paperwork, okay. Yeah, waive the court costs. Okay. Now, Hannah Line,
I don't think any of those things will be in those agreements.
Is that what those mean? And it's like, South, you know, you thought so.
the other transported inmates are in transit. Are in transit, parts unknown. Let's start to out of custody. Matthew Bowles. Matthew Bowles says active warrant out.
We'll put him in NCIC. He's in Alabama, we believe.
Stephen Brown,
I think he's active warrant. He's in NCIC also.
okay. Brenton Bryant,
I know it's on.
uh-oh, Mr. Bryant is here on a pretrial conference, is that right?
Yes, sir, Judge. We weren't, to please the court, we
Pardon?
weren't able to get anything resolved. We're
What's that?
talking about a trial date. It would be my position, Your Honor, if we do set a trial date, there's some additional discovery that we're working on a motion for bill of particulars on now. We would like to be able to get that before formulating a final decision.
Okay. What do you want to do, Mr. Cocker?
Well, if I'm gonna get a bill of particulars, all offers are off the table. So if you wanna go ahead and get that to me, then we'll get ready for trial. Because I'm not gonna play that game.
I mean, it's not a game, Judge. I'm a,
He just said the offer's off the table. It's okay. It's his prerogative. It's your
It is.
prerogative to get a bill of particulars. Everybody's good. Let's see what kind of time frame do you think that'll get you into?
I mean, Judge, we'll get her.
What kind of case is this?
Mr. Bryant was allegedly in possession of a $65,000 to $80,000 stolen tractor. Depending on mine and Mr.
Receiving
Bell's
stolen
valuation.
property.
Stevenson. Well, you just want to set it for another pretrial?
Yeah, and I guess, when's Mr. Bell gonna get me those, so maybe I can get an answer to the next pretrial.
Well, I mean, I hope to get it done. I'm supposed to be off next week, Judge, but if I need to come in and do it, I will. If not, I'll get it first thing the next week.
Well, that'll give you time to be here the next rule day.
Yes, sir.
Could you, how voluminous is this gonna be? What kind of things you need to know? Maybe you could be working on.
Problem I've got is I'd pretty well give him everything I've got in discovery. If I knew more about the case, I'd be glad to tell Mr. Bell.
Well, when we were negotiating, and I don't want to expose all that to the court, Your Honor, but there was some things that were talked about that I wasn't aware of.
I'm not
Mr.
interested
Bell.
in the detail. I'm just
Yes, sir.
asking you how complex.
It's not very complex. We just need some, who was involved, who
Okay.
has knowledge, some
Well,
different things.
our next court date here is, March 14th, I guess. March 14th.
That's fine,
Do you
Judge.
want for another negotiation?
There's no need.
When is the negotiation date?
March 8th at 9.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna schedule him to come March 8th in case you give additional information
Okay.
that might change the negotiation status. You understand? Counselor, you understand?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Okay.
We
So
will
you're,
abide by it.
Mr. Wright, you're to be, on March 8th, you'll be at the negotiation day. And on March 14th, you'll be here, you'll be under your same bond conditions, okay? Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Hannah Line,
That's the transport.
yeah, oh, that's back to the transport. Seth Collins,
That's one, should be an order of dismiss the verdict, Your Honor.
you what?
There's two of them on, and one person hasn't. He's finding this, and the other one's to old school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll
Fire
sign,
threatening, so-
we'll assign Seth Collins, is that correct?
Yes.
That was a diversion for dismissal. Amber Crow. Amber Crow,
Yeah, she's tried to call me and talk to me at the office, but I don't guess I figured. 100% from the day by the
She
time.
attempted to call our office too, and I didn't answer.
Andrew Dover,
I think she's in Tennessee and she still lives in Tennessee.
for sentencing. Is Andrew Dover in jail?
We don't think so. So he wasn't in there?
He wasn't, so
Could you see if, check and see if Andrew Dover is in jail anymore?
Yes, Your Honor, of course. He was not on my jail list to come over. Let me double check.
And Judge, I would expect him in specialty court this morning, so it's man here, so I.
We'll pass him up while we try to find him. Mara Ferguson, Commonwealth versus Mayor Ferguson. 23 CR 0079. Are you Mayor Ferguson?
Yes,
You born in 1987.
yes, sir.
Last four digits of your social security number is 7463.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here today on a pretrial conference.
And Judge, we have a plea of diversion.
A motion has been made that says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes,
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
no,
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
yes, sir.
Are you the same person that we just previously identified?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney? And are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you? Believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes,
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know that you understand that right. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial by jury, your right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of charges against you. You understand that by entering a plea of guilty, you give up those rights. You understand that?
yes,
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. In the event I do not accept the recommendation of the Commonwealth and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. Now, have you previously been diverted in the last 5 years? Pre-trial diverted, have you
no.
done one of these? Have you had any felony convictions in the last 10 years? Are you currently on probation?
no,
You understand if you successfully complete the diversion program, the charges will be dismissed pre-trial diverted. But if you do not successfully complete the diversion program, you'll be brought back up. I'll order a pre-sentence investigation report. And you would be sentenced, you'd be a convicted felon. Okay, if that happens, if you don't complete it correctly. And then if you had any felonies in the future, you could have your sentence enhanced because of this plea. You understand that?
yes.
Okay, if you'll step aside, Mr. Judd, will you come over and ma'am, list this very carefully, okay?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth agrees to dismiss possession of drug paraphernalia, Class A misdemeanor, public intoxication, Class B misdemeanor, speeding, a violation, no registration plates, a violation endangering the welfare of a minor, Class A misdemeanor. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first-degree meth, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years pre-trial, diverted for 5 years. Diversion is to be supervised. Upon a plea of guilty to failure to maintain insurance on a motor vehicle, the defendant shall pay a fine of $500 to be paid at the discretion of the court. The defendant shall be assessed and follow any recommendations of the social service clinician. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do 30 hours per week community service until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant agrees to have any and all drug paraphernalia and contraband disposed of in accordance with the laws of Kentucky.
Was she driving a motor vehicle? There's no DUI here?
No, Your Honor.
Wasn't charged.
There was. That's all I know, Your Honor.
I can look at the file, but I don't think she was ever charged with officer.
Those are good dogs.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, if I may, I think the facts of the case, law enforcement saw pill bottles and the substance was in one of those pill bottles. Oh,
That's what's wrong with you testifying. You always testify and you just perjured yourself right there unintentionally.
She was never given field sobriety test. She was never asked to take any type of alcohol or drug test. And the officer didn't charge her with DUI. That's all I can tell the court.
But she was charged with public
She
intoxication.
was driving the vehicle, so. allegedly I control a lot, but I don't control near as much as people think I do. So that's the situation.
Same
That
thing
was the
can be
case that
said,
we were
same thing
given.
can be said about my job.
Yeah, so that's where we are.
Is that what you agreed to? What was just read, the charges against you just read, ma'am, is that what you agreed to?
Yes.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment?
Can you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing so because you are guilty for no other reason?
Yes.
Okay. Knowing your constitutional rights explained to you, is it still your desire to proceed with the plea of guilty to the charges and allow the court to fix your punishment as permitted by law?
Yeah.
Now you realize that if you don't successfully complete the pretrial diversion, I told you that.
Yeah.
Go back and say you should be convicted. Is that your agreement on there? So. Well, I'll tell you, I hope you, thank you. I hope you do take this seriously, Ms. Ferguson, because you're very fortunate that you didn't get charged and convicted of a DUI. I don't really think all the time I've been here, I've ever seen anybody charged with public intoxication and operating a motor vehicle and not get one. This was a lucky day for you. Okay? I mean, you might not feel too good about it. How much time do you need to pay the fine and the court cost? What's the
How much
total,
is it?
what's the total on that? $740.
That's all in.
Okay, a few months?
Can you pay $50 a month?
Yeah.
Can you pay your first $50 30 days from today?
Yeah.
And you pay it every time. Now, I have show cause dockets if you don't pay them.
Oh, I'll pay.
Okay. Okay, well, you need to meet with the probation and parole officer right over there and talk to him in a second.
Right there. All right.
Are we gonna?
You want to talk to him?
Tyler Graves. Tyler Graves is working active warrant out.
He's in jail.
Where?
Baron.
Well,
He was served Tuesday.
let's add him down to the jail docket then.
Mr. Dover, he asked me to check on, he was released from the Allen County Jail on January the 23rd. On prison. And I can't find the Justice Exchange where he's been since then.
So Mr. Dover is out walking around somewhere. Well, issue a bench warrant for Mr. Dover. Without bond. Mr. Graves, there's an active warrant out. Mr. Stockton.
You want to change that?
What?
He's all gonna move to the jail docket. He got some.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Which one of them was Dover was the one that was supposed to be in drug court today? I got her. Yeah, okay. Matthew Hagan. Commonwealth versus Matthew Hagan, 23 CR 0073. Are you Matthew Hagan? Let him behind the podium here.
Yes, sir.
He's the star of the show for a second or two. I know it's hard to take second billing sometimes. This is 23 CR 0073. Mr. Hagan, were you born in 1987?
Yes, sir.
The last four digits of your social security number 6854.
Yes, sir.
Here we're here on a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, we've just furnished the 911 recording and the CAD to Mr. Garrett. If he wants one more negotiation day, I'll be glad to do that.
Yes, please.
And I know evidently, Mr. Hagan has a child with one of the victims in this case. And they've told me certain things. I don't know if they're true or not, but I need to make it clear to Mr. Hagan that they can't drop this case. That's up to me. And we'll either settle this case or it'll go to trial.
What kind of, well, there's no reason to have a negotiation day if
Yeah.
he says go to trial. So
Because we'd like a pretrial conference.
March 8th for negotiation, March 14th for the next court appearance. Both of them are part of the bond.
Judge, can we move that to the 28th? I've got a murder trial set
Okay,
that
for
week
what?
of March, that your Cumberland Rule Day.
We don't have a common rule day 28th.
Oh, well. Okay, never mind. Just leave it on for the 14th and I'll figure it out.
I think it's the 20th, something.
It's the 19th, it's on
19th.
Tuesday.
I'm in another murder trial in Allen County that week. We'll just leave it on the 14th, and if there's an issue, I'll get with the Commonwealth.
If you're available, I'll pass it to you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Brian Hunter. Brian Hunter.
Get one.
I didn't have that on here. Has he been served? Should I check and see if he's been served?
He had last night, my stuff.
Okay,
He wants to go out.
okay. NCIC, Jeffrey Kruger.
Kruger. Okay.
Commonwealth versus Jeffrey Kruger, 23 CR 00077. Are you Jeffrey Kruger?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1961.
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 5377.
Yes, sir.
We're on a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have?
Judge, I'll kind of take the lead here. We're still waiting on some outstanding discovery.
Mr. Stockton,
Yes, that's correct. We're waiting on a lab.
what kind of time frame? Yeah.
Let's set it for March the 14th. If we get the lab back, I'll get with Mr. Pennington before then. I don't want to bring Mr. Kruger back to 8th if we don't have the lab.
Where you live, Mr. Kruger?
Right here in town.
Yeah, well,
If we get it in time, I'll notify.
well, let's put him on for negotiation on the 8th too.
I think that would be prudent, Judge, and if, I'll give Mr. Strong-
Negotiation on March the 8th and the next court day on March the 14th.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Robert McClendon. Commonwealth versus Robert McClendon, 23 CR 0072. You are Robert McClendon.
Yes, sir.
You born in 1972.
So
Last four digits, social security number 9729. We're here for a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Judge, I think we'll need a trial date, but probably not today. There'll be a superseding indictment. I'd say Mr. Bell will look at that and we'll probably get a trial date next time. And I don't want to set it and him say not ready, so.
Okay, well, let's just continue the case until March the 14th. That way,
That should be here today, so.
yeah,
14th and the 8th, Judge, with that.
yeah, the 8th and the 14th.
I think that still gets missed.
What is additional charge
No, it'll be the same charge. It'll just be.
superseding
It'll be
indictment?
superseding. It'll be assault or acting in complicity with another.
Okay, well, what I'll do then, Mr. Bell, is we won't issue a warrant on that. Since it's a superseding indictment, I'll do a summons since he's already out on bond.
Thank you.
That way we
Judge.
won't have to be arrested and go through the process.
We appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, the 8th and the 14th. Jacob Newberry. Commonwealth versus Jacob Newberry, 22 CR 0069. Are you Jacob Newberry? You're here for a suppression hearing, is that correct? Does it sit on here?
And
You born in 1980?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last four digits, social security number 2356.
Yes, Your Honor.
What does the Commonwealth have to say here?
Well, I don't think we're gonna have a suppression hearing. One, Mr. Pennington hadn't filed his motion, and number two, the officer's unavailable. He's got a medical problem.
Two minor complications.
Two minor complications.
And Judge, I think when we were here last time, I'd indicated that I was only going to be moving to suppress the search after I've reviewed video, I will now move into suppress seizure and search. So I will perfect that motion and we can do that on the 15th. I want to inquire to the court. Does the court want to do that off docket?
March
Or
14th,
15th, I'm sorry, Judge.
March 14th.
14th.
Yeah. Just, it won't take that long. Just notice it up, 10 o'clock or something like that. No.
Take the jail, just do it at 9 and we'll.
Nah, and we'll work it in before we get on the job. That's good.
Okay, that's, okay. Next.
Eric Reagan,
That's the one to dismiss the verdict, but he still owes, I think, $320 in court costs.
okay, well, somebody needs to write him a letter and tell him, who's his lawyer? DPA?
My file's in storage. It's.
Eric Reagan had a 2018 case, which was pretrial diverted. Office of Public Advocacy represented him. I'm ready to dismiss diverted, but he owes court cost. So if y'all will write him a letter and tell him that the motion was, he came up on the docket, the judge was ready to sign it, but he has to pay his court costs first, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Christopher Stafford. Active warrant out.
We'll put him in CIC.
Okay. Now, if we go, is Adair County detention on there?
No, we're half an hour early.
Do what?
No, we're half an hour early on the jail.
Okay, well, let's go into a mild recess here then.
Judge, we actually have,
The other transfer.
yeah, Mr. Smith was transported
Okay, Mr. Jared Smith.
and he's on for sentencing.
Forget the recess. Mr. Jared Smith. Now, we had two other transported people, I guess. Patrick Scott and Hannah Lyon. What's the story on them?
I didn't get a transport order for Patrick Scott, but I've got Hannah Lyons here.
Okay. Okay, are you Jared Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your year of birth?
9492
Last four digits of your social security number?
4504.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole here?
Yeah.
Is it substantially correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're here for sentencing. Upon plea of guilty, you pled guilty to sex abuse first degree, Class C felony. Received 10 years running concurrently. On count 7 and 8, you entered a plea of sexual abuse first degree, Class D felony, received 5 years. Each on 2 counts, 7 and 8, to run concurrently. Upon plea of guilty to rape, second degree vulnerable victim, first count, Class C, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years. Upon plea of sodomy, first degree vulnerable victim, counts 1 and 2, Class A felony, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 20 years on each concurrently for a total of 20 years. Upon a plea of guilty to first degree sodomy, a vulnerable victim, counts 7 and 8, Class B felony, the defendant will receive a sentence of 20 years on each count to run concurrently. All sentences shall run concurrently for a total of 20 years to serve. He shall have no contact with the defendants. Shall receive credit for time served. What are the court costs in this? Considering the length of the sentence, I'm gonna waive the court costs because he won't be out.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, who is in the custody of the jailer?
Those copies.
On Patrick Scott, there was one entered and it was rejected. And I didn't know it was rejected, so.
Where was it rejected?
For the e-filing clerk's office.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And it's,
You have him on the jail list. I don't know if they were gonna,
He's in jail. They were just transporting him to final sentence. So that's the reason why he's been transported.
where is he located?
he's in Barron County.
Well, have you gone over the pre-sentence investigation report with him?
I have.
We might just go ahead and get him on camera when we get there and do it. You wouldn't have any objection to that, would you?
I have no objection, Judge.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I knew part of his plea was a vote on specialty court. I didn't know how that turned out this morning, so.
Is that Patrick? That was Patrick Scott. We'll move down to the jail dock. Hannah Line. Hannah Line. Commonwealth versus Hannah Line, 24 CI 0002. Are you Hannah Line?
Yes, sir.
You born in 1997?
Yes, I was.
Last four digits, social security number 6857.
Yes, sir.
And you're here on 24 CI 0002 for arraignment. Do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Did she fill out an affidavit without an attorney?
Let's see.
Well, I'm going to appoint the Office of Public. Do you have a private attorney? Do you have any funds? You get a private attorney?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, then I can't be sure either. In
Um,
district court, did you have a private attorney?
I was indicted over this. I don't even know what's really going on. with anything, Your Honor.
Direct submission, okay. Well, I'm gonna.
Judge, if there was a transport order, I guess I would ask the attorney. I didn't do a transport order for Ms. Line.
Because she was on for arraignment, she's in Warren County and they don't go, so.
Okay, I was just making sure another attorney didn't have her transported.
No, she was in Warren County. You did that.
Yeah.
Warren County was supposed to allow her to participate by Zoom, but they are not cooperative in Warren County.
I
They
understand.
do not feel inclined to pay attention to us. So rather than make this young lady wait over there for months, the staff lawyer, she who must be obeyed, did this transport order. That's how she's here.
Thank you,
I'm
Ms. Thomas.
appointing you for the purpose of arraignment. When we get an affidavit on there, we'll see she's unsure about her assets. I guess right now, but do you have any property? Do you own any property? You work or?
I have a car that's in my name.
Well, it's probably. We'll do an affidavit for you, see if you're entitled to a public advocate. The grand jury of Monroe County charged you with trafficking a controlled substance first degree, endangering the welfare of a minor, tampering with physical evidence, being a persistent felony offender, 2 counts. Do you understand what those charges are? I'm not asking you any detail. You understand what the charges are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of your client, receipt of the indictments, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, young lady, I'm signing a reciprocal discovery order. Commonwealth will be giving your attorney evidence. We'll do an affidavit on you. I believe you're going to be eligible for a public advocate. After you talk with Mr. Pennington, if you're satisfied with his advice, and if you don't have no, he can represent you. If someone, you and some members of your family want to come up with money for a private attorney, then you need to notify us as soon as possible. So Mr. Pennington won't expend his time on this. You understand?
Yes, sir.
What is her bond on this case?
I just completed training.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm showing it's 20,000 cash. She's a moderate 4 to reoffend and a moderate 5 for FTAs.
Well, after you take a look at this, if you want to talk to the Commonwealth about a bond condition with those kind of scores, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I just want to tell the court, I think the Commonwealth has made an error on her PFO. She's on a pretrial diversion in Warren County currently on a possession charge, but I don't believe she's been revoked on it, so I don't think there is a PFO charge on this case. Just to be fair to Ms. Line, but.
That's
Judge-
probably the reason her bond's so high, though, is she's on a pretrial diversion committed that. So you can talk to your attorney, he'll talk to the, are you working now? Were you working, ma'am?
I actually just completed a 30-day treatment at Journey Pure and I was going to a sober living and I had to report. When I reported, I was gonna go and get a job and work from that sober living. And I didn't get a chance to do that yet.
You hadn't got a job yet.
No, sir.
Well, you can talk to your attorney, you can talk to Mr. Stockton, we'll see where you are in the continuum. Also, we'll see when these acts occurred. You know, it's important when these acts occurred. If they were before the sober living, all that kind of stuff, you head in the right direction, I'm sure they'll work with you. But some of these charges are pretty serious, so.
Sir,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
Yeah, that'll be okay.
We're still 18 minutes beforehand. So we're going a short recess. Guess I'll turn them off over here.
That may be.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my bond. How about that?
Yes, we go to Adair County. Are you on the line? Adair County Jail? Adair County,
Yes, sir.
you turn your camera on, we're ready to roll. Okay. This is a Cumberland County case, sitting by agreement in Tompkinsville. Call a case of Commonwealth Kentucky versus Brian Muse, 23 CR 0037. Are you Brian Muse?
Yes, Your Honor.
Born in 1981.
Yes, Your Honor.
Last four digits is your social security number, 9937, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Motion for bond reduction. What do you have to say, Mr. Garrett?
Judge, the original bond on him was 15,000 clerk approved surety. As the court probably is aware, the court raised that bond because he had a Barron County case. That Barron County case he has now been able to bond out on. So what we're asking the court to do is go ahead and reimpose the $15,000 clerk approved surety, or in the
What's the charge,
alternative.
Mr. Stockton?
It's trafficking, but basically the facts of the case was he had 3 grams of meth and a little black satchel and he was sitting on it in the back seat. There's no other evidence of trafficking other
What
than,
about have you looked into the Barron County case? When was it?
no, I've not looked into that.
It was a receiving
I
stolen
just found
property.
out late yesterday, this was set for today on this case here.
Or if the court wanted to do it 25,000 at 10%.
What insight does pretrial have on this case?
Yes, Your Honor, the Barron case, sir, like you said, was changed from cash to unsecured. It's a Class C felony, theft between, 10,000 and $1 million. He's coming back. as a high. Refunding that for nine, and a lot of the fines are on for FTAs.
Does he have FTAs?
He has, let's see, Your Honor, according to report. Had, FTAs, Your Honor, in Barron County. He had older FTAs in Barron County, and then he also had, as far as within the past 2 years, he had an FTA in Barron 22T 2685 that was on Halloween of 22.
Does he have any felony FTAs or just that traffic FTA?
Just the traffic one, and then the older misdemeanor case.
What do you say, Mr. Stockton? What do you want to do?
Well, I think if he wants to do that, I'd like for him to wear ankle monitor. Mr. Garrett says he works, and if he can go to
He
work,
does.
church the doctor.
Okay, well, I'll change it to a $15,000 clerk approved surety.
Or in the alternative, could 25,000 at 10% with the bracelet.
No, I'll just do clerk approved surety.
Okay.
And then with the ankle bracelet. And the normal curfew things I have: work, church, doctor. Homework, church, doctor, sort of thing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
He needs to give a site specific to the monitoring company as to where he works. He doesn't do this vagabond work where he's everywhere, does he? He's got a work location.
He does do some construction work, but I think he could probably give them the address where he will be.
That's what he needs to do.
We can make that happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your Honor, will he still be on for that 2/29 date in Cumberland as well?
It was noticed for 2/29, but we're going to handle it today. When I e-filed it, it wouldn't let me put it on today's date,
When's the next court appearance he's got?
the 29th. I think we have a pretrial conference.
So it's still on there.
Yes, but the bond motion, of course, won't.
Okay.
What's your negotiation date?
All right, 9 o'clock in Burks.
We'll be there for negotiation tomorrow.
I think I can be. Yeah, I can make that.
Okay. Tomorrow, negotiation day is February 16th. The next court day is,
Should we take that file?
no, excuse me,
Cumberland County case. So negotiations tomorrow on the 29th.
it's the 16th, March 16th.
Tomorrow.
Ian.
So I said the
He's
negotiation
on the
date
docket
is 16.
You said
When,
February.
I did, I'm sorry.
February 16th. Did we previously set that in for negotiation?
No,
We did, well,
Yes.
I think we did, when Mr. Pennington represented him in the rain.
yeah, that's right. I think it was.
okay, well,
Brian, make sure you come to the Cumberland Circuit Courthouse tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I'm confused on the surety, so I don't, is that something I can sign or
no, somebody else has to sign the surety.
Somebody
Is
else.
But
with a deed or?
No, listen to me.
Yes,
They
sir.
go to the clerk's office and just prove that they're worth $10,000. They don't have to have,
25,000.
I thought I changed it.
15,000.
15 is what it was.
Clerk surety.
15. So anybody that the clerk approves of, and they're pretty liberal, they can go in there and sign it, and then you'll have to call Junior Smith to get lined up with the ankle monitor.
And that's in Cumberland County, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir.
Is Roder on there, Roder Correctional Complex? Doesn't appear to be. Let's go to the Barron County Jail.
They're in here 30 minutes, we're 23 minutes early.
23 minutes, so we'll wait a few minutes. Will somebody call Roder? Could you call Roder?
I was in direct contact with them yesterday, or 2 days ago about this.
Roder Correctional Complex. Okay. Well, we'll do a 15-minute break till we go to Barron County, okay? Actually, it's a 22-minute break.
See, like, you tell me what you're my health assistant. What? Is there any vending machines in there for you? Hey, Rick, we're just, can you get some water?
Okay, let's go to Barron County. Jonathan Brown. Barron County. Are you Jonathan Brown?
Yes, sir.
We're here on 23 CR 0064. Mr. Brown, were you born in 1976?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits of your social security number 0306.
Yes, sir.
Okay, have you you're here for sentencing. Have you had a look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole? You seen that? Mr. Bell, did you go over it with him?
Yeah, we done it over here at the negotiation day.
Okay, have you seen that, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Substantially correct? Is
Yes, sir.
it, okay, Mr. Bell, is there any reason why this gentleman should not be sentenced today?
I think it might have been.
Here you go.
Judge, on the, page, let's see. On this page right here, Judge. Right off the front. Don't have a page number, but there's a, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon that was amended on the plea to, amended to a firearm. And we would ask that that be noted, and changed due to his classification and pro eligibility and different things of that nature.
But I've got it on the offer there. It says
Yes,
amended
sir.
possession. And it's on the second page of what you're saying, where,
Yes, sir. Yep. Second page right under,
bring your copy up here so Mr. Stockton, I can see it.
it's right here, Judge. Think right there, the handgun is supposed to be a phone.
How many pages over is that?
I should be very. Third or fourth page, you got this page right here, that's right there, that's like that. Just the next page.
What's that second page? On yours.
Well, his might be the first, no, his is the first page. If he's, yeah, here's the first page, yeah, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all get this on the first page? We'll
I'll get those changes today.
make that notation.
Aside from that, Judge, we would like to be heard on the sentencing, but that's the only thing we had.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge, I understand that, Mr. Brown's been in some, trouble. Most of his issues have been involved with drugs. We have contacted, the Arts Center. We do have a opportunity to send him there. We do have a bed available. We also have him on a waiting list down at the Mark Center in Bowling Green. And I would ask the court today to, he never did get in any trouble, Judge, till I think he was close to 40 years old. His record was completely clean. And I think when he got on the drugs is when all of his problems started to, come up and cause him to be arrested and different things of that nature. I know he's got a gun charge, Judge. He wasn't wielding that or putting it on anybody, or it was just in a truck. And I think he would be benefited a great deal, and society as a whole would be benefited if he was allowed to go to a long-term treatment.
Where's the other voice coming from?
Or Barrington. They're the only ones on.
What do you have to say, Mr. Stockton? You will come around here so we can pick you up.
I would just disagree with Mr. Brown, Mr. Bell. Mr. Brown was on probation. He has about 45 grams of methamphetamine on him. He has a firearm. He didn't learn anything from being on probation. I think society would benefit by him staying in prison, and I would be opposed to probation or shock probation.
On a plea of guilty to trafficking controlled substance, first degree, first offense, defendant shall receive 4 years. Upon a plea of guilty, possession of firearm by convicted felon, defendant shall receive 4 years. 2 4 years, however, shall run concurrently for a total of 4 years, but consecutively to Monroe Indictment 21 CR 111 for a total of 10 years to serve. So you're combining a lot of years there, so.
I understand, Judge.
So 10 years. There should be a forfeiture of the 2149, forfeiture of the flatbed pickup. And I will waive court costs because of the amount of time involved, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you very much. Commonwealth versus Evans.
Yes, sir.
You pronounce your name Jacinda, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Jacinda Evans, 23 CR 0082. Miss Evans, were you born in 1983?
Yes, sir, I was.
Last 4 digits of social security number 0437. We're here for a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
I've got a note here, Your Honor. I think we're passing this till next rule day, if that's all right, Mr. Pennington.
We're still waiting on labs, Your Honor.
Miss Evans, they're still waiting on lab reports in your case. So
Yes, sir.
they're gonna pass it until March the 14th. You want a negotiation day in case we have a negotiation day on March the 8th. Your attorney will be responsible for doing transportation orders if he wants to bring you over here on the 8th and the 14th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah, good day.
Okay, thank you. Heather Franklin. Commonwealth versus Heather Franklin,
Yes, sir.
22 CR 0096. You are Heather Franklin, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1984, Miss Franklin?
Yes.
Last 4 digits, social security number 7532. We're
Yes.
here on pretrial revocation, pretrial diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
We need to hear, and she's gonna stipulate. Okay, I'll just let Mr. Collins testify.
Okay, Mr. Collins, you want to come around?
Oh, Officer, didn't you drug test her though before she went?
Ms. Harger is the witness.
I can call her first, Miss Harger.
Ms. Harger, will you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Do you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're kind of voice activated, so you have to talk. Mr. Stockton, you may inquire.
Okay, Miss Harger, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. When did you begin supervising Miss
She
Franklin?
needs to identify herself with whom she's employed.
Oh, okay,
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
ask you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, who are you employed with?
My name is Officer Harger. I am with probation and parole.
And do you supervise individuals through probation parole?
Yes, sir.
And did you supervise at one time Miss Heather D. Franklin?
Yes, sir, at the Women's Addiction and Recovery Manor.
Okay, when did that supervision begin?
Miss Franklin arrived at Warm on 8/9 of 23.
Okay, and that's when you started supervising her?
Yes, sir.
And where's Warm located? What city and county are we talking about?
Henderson, Kentucky.
Okay, and at some point in time, was she discharged from that facility?
Yes, sir, on 12/25 of 23.
Okay, and what were the circumstances? Do you know?
Yes, sir. The warrant incident that was sent to me on 12/25 of 23 states, the above PH1 client was held accountable by her clients for an issue of non-coverage in the kitchen. When confronted with the problem of looking at her part and owning it, the above client refused to look at the issue. Staff then held Ms. Franklin accountable for her poor responses. Staff witnessed within minutes her attitude and demeanor worsened, upon which the above client walked out the front door and stated, "I will not return. I am leaving even if I'm going to have to hitchhike." The client never returned.
Okay, did she report to you then after she left the facility?
No, sir, she did not.
Have you had any contact with her since?
No, sir, I have not.
I have no other questions. This witness.
Counselor, you want to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Officer Harden, during the time periods from 8/9/23 to 12/25/23, did Ms. Franklin fail any drug screens?
No, sir, she did not.
So it appears the problem was with insubordination?
Yes, sir, she left the program prior to completion.
When was she set to complete the program?
I do not have that information. It depends on the clients because they, it's at their pace. If they get restarts or reset on things that they did not complete, or they are held accountable for their behaviors, they're set back. So it's DLC says they have 6 months, but they work a 12-step program, which typically takes about 7-8 months to complete. Phase 1. She's required to complete phase 1 and did not. She got the step 4.
How many steps are in the phase?
12 steps, sir. It's a 12-step program.
Oh, okay.
And again, during the first 4 steps, no failed drug screens.
No, sir, not at all. That's correct.
And was she pacing toward steps 5, 6, 7?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, she was.
So for all intents and purposes, Ms. Franklin controlling her substance abuse problem was doing well.
Yes, sir.
And that was, of course, the purpose of her going to rehabilitation, get off drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't understand the relevance.
No further questions, George.
Officer, can this officer be released, either one of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for participating, Officer Harder, you may be released.
Thank
You
you.
raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
Identify yourself and by whom you're employed.
Chase Collins, probation and parole supervisor here in Monroe County.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Collins, at some point in time, was Ms. Franklin put on your caseload?
She was, supervision began in April 20th of 2023.
Okay, did Ms. Franklin experience any problems after being placed on your supervision?
She did. On 7/25 of 23, she was positive for the first time for methamphetamines. We had her assessed and we had her enrolled into outpatient counseling. And on 7/28, 23, she was arrested in Monroe County for PI. Drug tested her, and she actually admitted to the use of cocaine on 7/27, the use of methamphetamine on 7/27, and the use of ecstasy on 7/27.
Okay, what happened after that drug test?
That's when we had her assessed and we sent her to long-term treatment.
Okay. Now, after she left long-term treatment on December 25th of 23, did she report back to you?
No, she never reported back to me. She was, she may have, I think she actually turned herself in.
Okay, where'd she turn herself?
Tonkinville Police Department.
Okay, when did she do that?
The date she was arrested, it was after she had left the rehab. So we issued the warrant,
Okay,
and she knew she had a warrant on her.
okay.
An officer from Tonkinville Police Department had been in contact with me.
Is
So
she a resident of Monroe County?
she is.
Okay. I have no further.
Approximately how many days between the time?
I honestly, I had no knowledge of her leaving until the police officer called me. And then he said that she had contacted them and wanted to know if there was a warrant for her arrest.
Yeah, that's always a problem, and if we send these places. Okay, Counselor, you have any questions? You want?
And that, Judge, that was gonna be one of my questions. So, Officer, during your supervision of Ms. Franklin, and she wasn't having good July 2023, to say the least, right?
No, she wasn't.
And upon her substance abuse, she was sent to the social services clinician,
Yes,
and they referred her to rehabilitation.
yes.
to get off those drugs.
Correct.
And you heard, Ms. Hargan testify
Mhm.
that Ms. Franklin went from August 9th to 12/25 with no drug test.
Right.
So for all intents and purposes, rehabilitation program was successful.
So what, I think.
We can stipulate,
absconding
yeah,
is the issue here.
it is, Your Honor. And for the record, just to tell the court, she was arrested on December the 27th. She was out 2 days.
2 days. Okay, that's important.
So, and Judge, I'll get to the crux of that. So officer in supervising Ms. Franklin, were you made aware of her mother's medical condition?
I was not. I wasn't the
Okay,
supervisor.
let's cut to the chase right here on this thing.
I think
She left, but she turned herself in within 48 hours.
Yeah.
And what kind of suggestion you think it
I
would?
think she's been sanctioned, and I think she ought to go into drug court because she was on meth, ecstasy, and cocaine before she went to rehab.
Was your client accept drug court?
Absolutely, Judge.
Okay, well, I'll sign an order. Give her a chance. Young lady, I don't like the fact that you left that treatment down there, but we're gonna give you a chance to do drug court, okay? You
And I
get-
know it was a mistake.
you-
I
you
should,
get- You get you a job, you follow what they do in drug court, you continue the progress you made before you left down there, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Are you gonna leave her diversion in effect?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the diversion in effect. I'm not gonna revoke her diversion, but if there's another stumble, it would, diversion will be gone.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Keith Gross,
That's continued to March 14th.
pardon?
That's continued to March 14th.
Okay, Keith Gross is continued to Mark. Keith, his attorney couldn't be present,
Correct.
attorney couldn't be present, and it will be continued to March 14th. Your attorney will be in contact with you. We had, Herschel Hammer. Commonwealth versus Herschel Hammer, 23 CR 0083. Are you Herschel Hammer?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in 2005?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits of your social security number 5631.
Yes, sir.
We're here for a pretrial conference. What do you have?
Your Honor, there's a new case pending in front of the grand jury today. If he's indicted, we can set Mr. Pennington up on the discovery and have a pretrial on the 14th and 8th on both cases.
Negotiation on March the 8th, and the next court date is March 14th. Both of them are conditions of bond. Mr. Hammer, your attorney will be over. Evidently, there's a superseding
No,
indictment
it's
or a
another
new,
case.
a new case indictment they're gonna bring. They're gonna try to wrap it all up in, and he'll be, I don't know what that is because it hasn't been returned yet, but he'll be able to speak to you about that. So you'll be transported over for a negotiation on the 8th and here in court on March 14th, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Christopher Hilt. Christopher Hilt. Cromwell versus Christopher Hilt, 20 CR 0056. Sir, are you Christopher Hilt?
Yes, sir.
You born in 1988.
Yes, sir.
That's 4 digits of your social security number, 8891. We're here today on arraignment. Your attorney's present. You can wave your hand or say something so you. Hello? Okay. The grand jury of Monroe County has returned an indictment charging you with tampering with a prisoner monitoring device. You understand what that charge is? I don't want you to comment on guilty or not guilty. Your attorney will do that, but you understand what the charge is. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Sir, you acknowledge the identity of Mr. Hilt, receipt of indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm signing a reciprocal discovery order here, Mr. Hilt, that says the Commonwealth will, no, I don't see the order. I got the compliance, but I don't see the order.
We have it, Your Honor. We'll have it here
Okay,
shortly.
what? So you need to give him the compliance.
That should be.
Give him the compliance and me the order.
I'm used to them getting to me both at the same time.
cut the card.
Okay, the Commonwealth has given your attorney evidence to help you prepare for your case. Have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Hilt yet?
No, Judge.
Okay, well, your attorney will be over there right soon to talk to you, Mr. Hilt. What is Mr. Hilt's, evidently he was out on some other charge.
Had him in NCIC since January 5th of 2022, Your Honor.
Okay, so your attorney will be over there to speak to you, Mr. Hill. Concerning your charges, we'll bring you over for negotiation on March the 8th and March the 14th will be the next court date. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Dustin Jesse. Justin Jesse. Are you Dustin Jesse? This is 24 CR 0006. Were you born in 1991?
Yeah.
Last four digits, social security number 0707.
Yes, sir.
Here with the purpose of arraignment, you have the right to remain silent. The grand jury of Monroe County has returned an indictment charging you with promoting contraband in the first degree and being a persistent felony offender. Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of Mr. Jesse, received indictment, wait formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm signing a reciprocal discovery order, Mr. Jesse, the Commonwealth giving your attorney evidence that they have to help you prepare your defense. Set up a negotiation day on March the 8th, and the next court date is March the 14th. Ashley Lewis. Commonwealth versus Ashley Lewis. 23 CR 0061. Are you Ashley Lewis? Were you born in 1987?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits social security number are 1474.
Oh, because of the child, yeah, I remember that.
You're here today for the purpose of sentencing, and you had.
May I? We were gonna ask the court if the court would consider continuing the sentencing because her 11-year-old who has a shunt due to hydrocephalus, he's got cerebral palsy and another disorder. He's gonna be having surgery March 19th. If the court would be willing to postpone it and maybe give her a 1-day furlough to go with him because her mom has the child, but it may be helpful if.
Well, the problem I have is the next sentencing day we would have would be on April the 18th. And I believe she remains a county prisoner until she's sentenced, isn't that right? It would cost Monroe County thousands of dollars. So, I don't think really anything I can do about that. What do you say, Mr. Stock?
Well, there's no date till April, so I mean, I don't know, what is it? $50 a day or something, they're paying? So.
Well, I'll proceed with sentencing here. Upon a plea of guilty to trafficking in a controlled substance, first degree meth, defendant shall receive 5 years. The defendant agrees to have all the contraband destroyed. What are the court costs in this case? $230. She received jail credit. How much jail credit does she have coming?
How much jail credit does Ashley Lewis have?
No,
I've got it here. It's okay. I would just say she'd be eligible after a year. I didn't know how long she'd been in. Okay, I'll waive the court costs.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Thank you very much. Larry Norris.
I wanna go.
Larry Norris.
You got me. I don't wanna go.
Okay. 23 CR 0078. Are you Larry Norris?
No, I'm not.
What do your friends call you, sir?
They call me, Bill Engvall.
Yeah. Of course, they're
Yeah.
wrong. They're wrong because you're Larry Norris. Okay, this is 1992. Your date of birth, your year of birth is 1992. And the last four digits of your social security number are 1833.
They are.
Uh, Counselor, what do you have here for?
Judge, I've discussed this case with the Commonwealth. We are in agreement for a evaluation.
Yeah, I'll sign an order for an evaluation. Larry, they'll come and somebody's gonna talk to you. We take you somebody to talk to you, okay? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, they need help.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Larry. Kentucky versus Jesus Padilla.
All right.
Commonwealth Kentucky versus Jesus Patilla. Are you Jesus Patilla?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in 2002?
Correct.
And you don't have a social security number, is that correct?
No, sir.
If you had a look at this pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole,
Yeah.
is it substantially correct?
Yes, sir.
Is
Judge,
there,
I think there was an error on, Mr. Padilla's birthday.
what's your date of birth? Sir?
Make it, I believe it said, 24.
25th, and it says the 24th on the PSI. I think it was just a day off.
Okay. Okay.
Probably the best identifier we've got. Okay, is there a reason I have not be sentenced?
No, Your Honor.
I'll plead guilty in indictment 22 CR 00105, a charge of theft and unlawful taking Class D felony, received sentence of 5 years. I'll plead guilty in indictment 23 CR 0059 for burglary, 3rd degree, 5 years. I'm going to plead guilty in 23 CR 0059, charge of criminal mischief, 5 years. 2 5-year sentences under indictment 59 shall run concurrently for a total of 5 years, and the 5 years shall run consecutively to indictment 00105 for 10 years. Probated for 5 years.
There's a problem, Your Honor.
Yeah, there he is. Go ahead.
When Mr. Hunley and Mr. Pennington negotiated the plea, and Mr. Hunley can speak for himself, he had relied on the
Come
good
over here.
faith.
Come over here. All right.
He relied on a good faith assertion by Mr. Pennington, I believe, that Mr. Padilla was going to pay $9,000 in restitution. And we actually put it in the Commonwealth's offer that he wouldn't be released until that $9,000 was paid, and it's never been paid.
Nothing has been paid.
So we can't say that he should be probated at this point in time because he's not fulfilled his agreement.
What do you have to say?
And Judge, I agree with the assertion that I made and the good faith basis.
Well, here's the
I can't
thing
speak to the
about-
accounting part.
What it says, it should be paid prior to entering the plea, and it wasn't.
No, and that's my fault, Your Honor, because Mr. Hunley was in the grand jury and we had this plea done in Cumberland County, I believe.
I got no problem with that. I mean, I'm just,
And I would have never been in the plea if I knew it hadn't been paid.
okay. So he hadn't met the conditions of the plea, so we will take him back to square one. And I'll reject it and sentence him to the full time. Unless you want to talk to him, see if he's got some sources. $9,000.
I mean, I know my people in the house have been working on getting some money and supposedly supposed to be took to the clerk's office, but I don't know if it's on my books, paid for the restitution or not, but, I'm trying, you know what I mean?
Well, let me just let's me what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this off until April the 18th. If the $9,000 is paid like the agreement will go forward. If it's not paid, then I'll sentence him to the time. Does that sound like a fair thing to do?
Absolutely, Judge.
You understand, Mr. Padilla?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Right? You say it was on April 18th?
I can't understand what.
Yes, April 18th. I'll be over to talk to you, Jesus.
All right, thank you.
Jason Pitcock, Jason Pitcock, Commonwealth versus Jason Pitcock, 23 CR 0008, 23 CR 0030. Motion for bond reduction by Squire Ken Garrett.
Judge, this is our motion to ask the court to reimpose the bond that he had downstairs in district court. It was a $10,000 cash or property bond. His mom had posted bond for him at that time. I think when it was indicted, the bond amount went up. He's been in custody for 8 or 10 months, maybe even approaching a year. What we would ask the court to do is consider imposing a $10,000 cash or property bond for Mr. Pitcock.
What is Doctor, what's the charge here?
He's charged with 10 counts of possession of child pornography and 10 counts of distribution. And we have a trial set April 15th, and I think the court's aware these are serious cases based on what's happened in Clinton County.
Yeah. Well, it's not that long of a trial. All this is good time if he gets me.
Sure.
So, I think that it could endanger the public. Is there a trial date sooner than that, or have you already got it set up?
But we've got 5 trials set between April the 9th and April
There's not
24th.
available.
So,
Okay, okay. Your attorney will be over to talk to you, Mr. Pitcock. Thank you. Jackie Short.
I didn't understand. I didn't even get that.
Okay, well, do you have any objection to changing the bond with an ankle bracelet or something?
I think based on the charges, it needs to, the bond's appropriate until we have a trial. If the trial doesn't go for some reason and it's Commonwealth's fault, I'll agree to an ankle bond. I depend on the trial going.
When is the trial set again?
April 16th, and we got.
Mr. Pitcock, your trial is scheduled for April the 16th. If it gets continued again, I'm gonna let you out on an ankle bracelet because it's not right to hold you any longer than that.
Your Honor, I've been here a year and I've been patient with everything. I'm accused of something I didn't do. I was unaware of anything being on the computer or anything like that. And I've been in here a year, patient.
Jason, please don't speak. I mean, you're waiving your right to self-incrimination. Just don't say anything, please.
Mr. Stockton, do you feel y'all have a compelling case in this?
We have met with the members of the Attorney General's office, and the best that I can understand computers, Miss Anderson, that they was able to get the stuff from his computer, and he was the only one that had access to it. And they're going to come down again on March the 5th and meet with us again to prepare for trial, and we're going to be ready for trial.
It was child pornography?
Yes.
And
to be honest with the court, I have purposely not viewed very many of those pictures because I don't want to look at them too much.
And Judge, I know the Commonwealth has made a statement, but I would just say that we believe we have a very credible defense with merit. As the court has heard him say, he denies having intentionally done that. So again, we would just ask the court to consider a bond.
I'll take it under consideration, but I will tell you, if this case is not tried, he's walking out of there.
Well, if it's not tried, it's not going to be the Commonwealth's fault.
I understand it's not, but you know, at some juncture, those people up there at the labs and stuff like that, you got to understand they got to get more money or they got to get more experts or something because they leave everybody hanging out here.
But it ain't been their fault in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been responsive.
Well,
And we set it for trial as soon as we could.
well, then I got no problem. I thought you were indicating if it wasn't tried.
No, what I'm
Oh,
saying is.
okay. Oh, I understand. I got you now. I thought you were saying that you had some kind of problem with them.
No.
Okay,
No problem.
okay. Thank you very much. Your attorney will be over to talk to you, Mr. Pitcock.
Your Honor,
Jackie Short.
Could you please allow me bond? Come on.
Jackie Short. Commonwealth versus Jackie Short. 23 CR 0065. Are you Jackie Short?
Yes, sir.
You're here on a pretrial conference. Were you born in 1970?
No, sir.
You weren't? What's your year of birth?
1990.
90. Well, you just picked up 20 years right there, you know. Last four digits, social security number 4616.
Yes, sir.
We're here for pretrial conference.
We have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Just keep that there. A motion was tendered, says you wish to enter a plea of guilty today. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir, it is.
You're the same person that was just identified by the court.
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Have you discussed the charges with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Are you satisfied with the advice of your attorney?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the evidence which the Commonwealth has against you?
Yes.
You believe that you fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea here today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. And then I'll ask you at the end if you do. You have the right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. The right to speed trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charge against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentences provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I will wait the pre-sentence investigation report from probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation, Mr. Judge?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth agrees to dismiss possession of drug paraphernalia, and upon a plea of guilty to possession of controlled substance first degree meth, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years probated for 5 years. And then the defendant shall enter and complete the Monroe County Specialty Court Program. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do 30 hours per week community service until gainful employment. The defendant also agrees to have any and all drug paraphernalia and contraband disposed of in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Is that what you agreed to, sir?
Sir.
Did you do so of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Because you did commit acts in the indictment as amended, right?
I repeat that, sir.
You did commit the acts that you're pleading guilty to.
Yes, sir.
As amended, okay? You understand that after entering this plea, any future convictions will enhance the range of penalty? You understand that? In other words, if you get it's a persistent felony offender law. If you get a felony in the future, that could be used to give you a longer sentence because of this felony, you know, added on. You understand that? You do understand that?
Yes, sir.
Could you give me the plea? Is that your signature on there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll accept the plea and order a pre-sentence investigation report and
Judge, if I may, I think this may also be a supplemental PSI.
Yes, he's a state inmate, Your Honor.
Well, no, he's,
Yeah, how's he getting in drug court? And if he's a state inmate, why is he not? Is he being paroled or what's?
I didn't
the
know
deal?
he was state inmate.
Judge, he's completed the sentence.
I'm not a state.
He's not a state inmate.
I knew he was on parole at that term, so I didn't know he'd already completed.
Well, how's he get into drug court if he's on parole? I mean, I asked him these,
He keeps getting possession charges. I mean, that's the problem. And he's either gonna go to trial on this or go into drug court.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, has he been in custody continuously since he was a state prisoner? Well, I think I can waive a pre-sentence investigation report in that situation, and if he has not been out. So I'll go ahead and sign the judgment. And then has he been interviewed and voted into drug court yet?
He just tendered the referral order, so it,
Okay, so he hasn't.
no, Your Honor.
Okay, well, they'll be over to interview you and stuff and try to get you ready to get into drug court, and I'll let you out on the date that you get, if you get voted in on the date of the orientation, okay? Okay, thank you very much. Now. Jesse Simpson,
Have you done court calls on that?
yeah, what was the court call?
Your Honor.
Court costs on it last $195, all they be $30, 30 days out and 30 days thereafter. Jesse Simpson, are you
Yes, sir.
Jesse Simpson? Were you born in 1985?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 5899.
Yes, sir.
We're here on 23 CR 0084, a pretrial conference. What's
And Judge,
what's the Commonwealth have?
We don't have a plea agreement. Mr. Hennigan's filed a motion to reduce bond.
and Judge, my motion to reduce bond is also predicated on the fact that I received discovery from Mr. Simpson that was provided by his previous attorney, Department of Transportation records. Tendered those to the Commonwealth this morning, which it goes to the crux of count 2 on the indictment, driving a motor vehicle while license suspended for DUI. Judge, as far as my motion to modify bond, Mr. Simpson has a $5,000 full cash bond.
Well, before we talk about the bond,
Yes, Your Honor.
if we don't have a plea, I need to set a trial date. And the trial date might have some impact on the bond.
Judge, if the Commonwealth wishes to set a trial date without reviewing evidence, I'm fine with that as well. But
Well, if we even don't proceed on that count, he's still got the fleeing and evading and the PFO. So
Judge, I haven't had a chance to review the preliminary hearing, but it is my understanding that the basis for probable cause was
Well,
what?
you raise your right hand, you swear the testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth. To the best of your knowledge, you weren't there. And I
Judge,
wasn't.
and that's the problem. I've not had a chance to review that.
Well, I'm gonna fix to give you a chance here. How long has he been in jail?
Judge, I'm showing bail was set on 1/2/24. I know last time was his arraignment.
Well, I tell you what, we'll have it on having there at the negotiation day. And on the 8th, and y'all can talk about his bond then, and then you'll be back on the 15th. And if the bond's not available on that date, then we can have a bond hearing. Or we'll set a speedy trial, okay? 14, excuse me.
And Judge, I understand that rule, and I'll just say Mr. Simpson's father is here in court today and is prepared to put any surety bond the court would impose. It's a $5,000 cash bond. The problem is the cash aspect of it, Judge, and not being able to put up property or a surety in lieu of cash. So with that amendment, I think Mr. Simpson will make bond.
$10,000 property bond.
that's fine, Your Honor, but I would ask that he be on home incarceration and not be driving any vehicle. Because if he's fleeing and evading vehicle, and this is his 4th felony since 2017, he's had 3 possession convictions.
Judge, we have no objection
He's on
to,
probation out of Bryan County as we speak. Now, he just got a 60-day sanction because of that case he served out. So he just keeps going and going.
No, I'm since he was out on,
Judge, that case is resolved.
Was he on probation when he?
He's still on probation out of Barnes County.
And when he was accused of this, he was on probation, but
Yes.
I
This
can't,
offense occurred, he was on probation out of Barnes Circuit Court. If this offense occurred.
you can file, I won't use this as your one motion, you're entitled, you can file a motion with some documentation. He'll be here on the eighth for a negotiation, and then the 14th for a plea deal, or we'll set him a bond or a trial date. Okay?
yes, Judge.
Your attorney will be over to see you, Mr. Simpson. Thank you. Jason Smith. Jason Smith.
He'll probably do it. Jason, you'll probably, do. I still be over.
Tell me it'll be 2 minutes.
Just a
Okay.
minute, stipulate.
Commonwealth versus Jason Smith, 23 CR 0081. Are you Jason Smith? Were you born in 1982? Born in 1982?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 4232. Okay, we're here in 23 CR 0081 for a pretrial conference and 20 CR 0078 for a probation revocation. What says the Commonwealth?
We have made an offer.
Come around here.
He has got cases in other jurisdictions that affects his probation. We've made an offer to wrap everything up, and I think Mr. Pennington needs some time to discuss it with his client.
Negotiation day on March the 8th, and the next court day here is on March 14th. Both of them are conditions of the bond. Have you talked to the other jurisdictions?
What he's on probation now there, and we're thinking about is making an offer on this new case where you'll stipulate revocation on all of them. So that would take.
That's in a different jurisdiction?
In this jurisdiction and other jurisdictions, yes.
Yeah.
And Judge, just for, Mr. Smith is currently a state inmate serving out of Barron County as well,
Okay.
so.
That'll be fine. Got those dates. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Christopher Sutton. Commonwealth versus Christopher Sutton. Commonwealth versus Christopher Sutton, 24 CI 0007. Are you Christopher Sutton?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in 1995?
Yes, sir.